Sometimes you just have to ask yourself, is this really the best way to be spending my time? Hey guys, I'm Ricky with WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most insane Steam achievements. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're exploring Steam achievements which are notoriously hard to obtain or cryptic in nature. And if you guys have any of these achievements, this slow clap is just for you. Number 10. Master of the Universe, VVV. Starting off with a particularly devilish achievement, this one asks you to simply beat the game without dying. Now, anyone who's played this game can tell you that this is much harder than you think it is. The game itself is a pretty straightforward platformer, but instead of jumping, the player has to shift gravity in order to make their way through the various rooms filled with spikes, disappearing platforms, and enemies. It's the kind of game where trial and error reigns supreme, making this achievement one that you can really only complete after hours of learning and practicing each room. So if you've got the patience for that, then we wish you luck. Number 9. Go Outside, the Stanley Parable.
But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
This game has a pretty weird set of achievements, and this is just one of them. It's not cryptic or difficult by any means, as it just requires that you don't play the game for a few years. You heard correctly, you cannot play the game for 5 whole years. Now, the game itself doesn't take long to beat, and it doesn't seem to be the kind of game that would keep you playing every single day. However, if you're one of those completionist type, then this one is going to be driving you crazy for a long time. Unless you cheat by changing your system clock.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Number 8. Unachievable, also from the Stanley Parable.
He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Quote, "It is impossible to get this achievement," end quote. Yep, that's the only hint you get for this one. However, on the contrary, there are actually a few ways to get this achievement. The first is to basically cheat by using console commands to forcibly make it pop. The other way is to just play the game and hope that you get it. The reason being that the developer made it so that the achievement would randomly be awarded to players as they play. They even admitted in an interview that they would change how it was awarded every patch after someone had figured it out. Now that's one way of keeping people interested in your game.
Stanley.
Number 7. Impossible Boy, Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is one of those games that has a seat at the incredibly hard platformers table. Its tight controls and quick reload times allow the developer to throw some truly terrifying level designs at you, and that's made very clear for the achievement. You have to complete the Cotton Alley Dark World without dying. Dark Worlds act as harder versions of the levels you would normally complete on a regular playthrough. Cotton Alley's Dark World is notoriously hard to get through already, but by throwing in the classic no death modifier in there, it becomes a true test of skill and endurance that only the most dedicated meat boys and girls will be able to complete. Number 6. Tau Efficiency, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War 2, Retribution. In the grim, dark future of the 41st millennium, this achievement is still a pain in the ass to get. Dawn of War 2 allows 3 players to play cooperatively in the Last Stand, a horde mode with the difficulty increasing as you fight through waves of enemies. For this achievement, you must kill 3 doppelgangers within 5 seconds of each other. It doesn't sound too bad until you realize that these enemies only appear on the 16th wave and are incredibly dangerous. Not only that, but you, as the Tau Commander character, must get the kills. This means that you absolutely cannot let your teammates land the killing blow on any of these guys, or else you'll have to start all over again. Number 5. 7-Day Survivor, Dead Rising. A classic game for any zombie fan, Dead Rising has the player take control of Frank West as he struggles to survive the never-ending hordes of undead inside a large mall. The main campaign is limited by time, but you can eventually unlock Infinite Mode, which challenges you to survive as long as possible. In lieu of a timer, Frank has a food meter that must be maintained, and there's only a limited amount of food available. To get this achievement, you just have to survive 7 in-game days in this mode. That's only about 14 hours in real-world time. Also, you can't save. Have fun! Number 4. Little Rocket Man, Half-Life 2, Episode 2.
Great!
There is nothing worse in a video game than having to protect someone. Having to split your focus on your enemies and the less than useful NPC is the reason why escort missions are met with sighs from gamers everywhere. Episode 2 has this in a form of an achievement where the goal is to carry a garden gnome that you find near the start of the game to a space rocket near the end. Now, the good thing is that the gnome is an object, so you don't have to worry about it moving too slow or dying by running in the wrong direction. You do, however, have to worry about the gnome accidentally launching you out of the map.
Remember to keep in constant contact. We have no idea what to expect.
Number 3. The Three Mountains, Europa Universalia 4. Europa Universalia is one of those massive 4X strategy games similar to the Civilization series, where you're asked to explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate your way to victory. Naturally, you would want to start out as a nation with some significant power so that you can plan your conquest without much worry. Well, throw that comfort out the window for this achievement because you'll be playing as the small island nation of Ryukyu, which is just south of Japan. You start off with a small force of 6 regiments, which is not nearly enough to go toe-to-toe with either Japan or Korea. You'll have to be incredibly strategic in your path to world conquest, and it won't be easy. Number 2. Yes, I am the real Garry. Garry's Mod.
Use the doors. Don't wander around, they might get you. Not saying anything bad will happen, but just...
Achievement hunting can get pretty frustrating when it comes to multiplayer games. Garry's Mod takes this frustration a bit further with this achievement, which you can only unlock by being on the same server as Garry Newman, the creator of the game. The big joke is that he doesn't play all that often, if at all anymore, making this nigh impossible to get, especially nowadays. Though there are players who do have it, thanks to a group called 100 Pals. In 2018, they managed to convince Garry to host a server event with them so that a ton of people could finally put this achievement to rest. What a nice guy.
Where's Garry?
How do you know?
Where is he?
How do you know?
I just got the achievement.
Number 1. 90-Day Streak, World of Guns, Guns Disassembly. You wouldn't really expect a simulation puzzle game to have particularly difficult achievements, and yet, here's World of Guns taking the bronze medal. This cross-genre title has you learning about the inner workings of guns through assembly and disassembly. Every weapon is a puzzle in its own right, challenging you as you carefully take them apart piece by piece. There are daily puzzles to complete, and that's where this achievement comes in. To get it, all you have to do is complete 90 daily puzzles in a row, which is more time-consuming than difficult, but just make sure you keep on top of it. You wouldn't want to reset at day 89. I do love when developers find new and creative ways to drive their fans crazy. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any of these achievements, let us know which ones you have down in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe to WatchMojo.